Hi, it's Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach. Recently, I was being interviewed on a podcast, and this is something that I like to do because, I can't stop talking about this stuff. So it's generally really fun for me. But I was talking to this host, we were having this conversation, and he asked me two questions right off the bat that actually really pissed me off. And I wanted to share that with you because I want to share with you what those questions are, how I responded to them, and why they pissed me off so much. And I also want to share with you what you should do if somebody ever says something like this to you. So the first question that he asked me, we were talking about time tracking. And now this is something that, I do from time to time to help me get calibration on where my time is going, help me get some real data. It's something that I ask my clients to do for a short, limited period of time so that they can get some insights and data around where their time is going. But it's not something that I do like all the time, right? It's something that it's a tool I use from time to time. Well, this person, he was a religious time tracker, and that's fantastic for him. It's working great for him. But that means that he kind of tracks every moment of every day. And he said to me, he's like, why? It's just not that hard. Why do you think that everyone doesn't do it? It's just not so hard. So why don't they do it? And, aside from the fact of whether tracking your time all of the time is even a worthwhile endeavor, my response to that was like, well, it is hard for a lot of people, right? It isn't so easy. And I know this because I work with people all of the time who don't find this very easy. And I know that when I do it, I don't find it particularly easy to track all of my time. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes, I get sidetracked. Like sometimes, things happen, right? It's not that easy. And so I responded by saying something to the effect of, well, yeah, it's not that easy for everyone, right? People have things that are hard for them that are, that are not hard for you, and vice versa. I'm sure there's things that are not hard for other people that are really hard for you. There could be a myriad reasons, like maybe they have ADHD, maybe they find it too tedious and boring, maybe they have so much to do that they just can't even fathom adding tracking on top of it. Maybe they just get really easily distracted. Maybe they are trying to multitask and it's really hard for them to decide what they are actually doing in the moment, which that is actually a good thing to note because then we can work on multitasking and why that's not really a real thing, right? But anyways, there's just lots of reasons why something might be hard for someone. And this question, I just felt like it was so steeped in privilege, so, I don't know, ignorant of differences that it really bothered me, right? And so I tried to just impart like, hey, things are difficult for some people and not for others, and vice versa, right? Like I work with so many people who do amazing things, right? Things that I could never do. I work with, people who run emergency departments and people who build the software for self-driving cars and, people who have built giant companies and all of these things that I haven't done, that I can't do, that I don't know how to do. I mean, I'm sure I probably could if I learned those skills, if I wanted to, if I had the desire, if I put in the effort and the practice, I'm sure I could learn those things, but I don't have those skills right now. Those things are not easy for me. I couldn't just do it if somebody asked me to. So that's the first question and why it pissed me off. Now, the second question that he asked, I think pissed me off even more than the first question. And the second question was, why do you think that there are some people who care about their lives and are really well organized, and there are other people who just don't care? And I was kind of blown away by this question because my response was like, I just don't think that's true at all. I don't think that there are people who just don't care about their lives, who don't care about their well-being, who don't care about, doing the things that they want to do and where their time is going. I just don't think that's true, right? I just think that we have varying degrees of skill sets around our ability to manage those things. And so I think anybody can learn that stuff if they want to, right? These are just skills that anyone can learn, right? Just like we have learned to ride a bike or learn to read, things we thought unfathomable at some point in our lives. All of these other things around being organized, around time management, et cetera, these things are just skills too. And his response to this was something to the effect of, wow, well, aren't you optimistic? Which I thought was kind of condescending, but also, I mean, I guess that's optimistic, but I also think it's just realistic, right? It's realistic that we don't have a skill, but we can learn a skill. Right? It's not this like innate natural ability that is going to set us apart from others. Sure. Do some people get a head start because they have a certain type of natural ability? Of course, right? I mean, one of my kids is just like really good at math, right? He always has been. That's not a skill I have, but I bet if I really put in the effort, I could get there, right? It's just that, learning all that advanced math doesn't really affect my life so much. So I don't actually care. I'm happy that he likes it and wants to do it. And I don't need to do that for myself. With time, you might be like, yeah, my time works well for me. I don't need to put in more effort to this. Or you might feel like, oh, like, I don't feel good about my time. Like, I don't feel good about the skills related to managing my time or making sure that I have enough time for the things I care about. I don't feel good about that. And if that's you, then these are skills that you can learn. I promise you, these are skills that you can learn. And that is, I think, why these questions pissed me off so much. And what I think this podcast host got so wrong is that he is assuming everyone is like him, that everyone is starting from the same position, that everyone has the same circumstances, the same brains, etc. And that is just so patently not true. We all show up in the world with different experiences, different brains, different skill sets. We all show up in the world with things that we are naturally gifted at and things that are much harder for us to come by. That doesn't mean we can't do them. It doesn't mean we can't learn them. It doesn't mean that just because it's not easy for us, that it's not worthwhile to do. We can all learn these skills. And so if you are sitting there feeling bad about yourself because, somebody has said to you, hey, it's easy, just do it. And you're thinking, man, is there something wrong with me? Is this a me problem? No, there is not a you problem. This is a that other person problem. And I have a meeting that I'm about to go into in 5 minutes. The only type of meeting and the only type of notifications I have on are meeting notifications. And so this is a good one. Little sidetrack here. I got really carried away with this video, but this is what I want you to leave with. You can learn any skill you want to, any skill. It is, and if somebody says to you, hey, it's not hard, just do it. I want you to just not even think about that. Just tell them, don't be rude, right? But in your mind, just be like, no, I don't need to pay attention to that. I can reject that opinion. It's not true. It doesn't bear on me. It's not a problem if something is hard for me. If something is hard for me, it's hard for me. It doesn't mean that I can't learn those skills. You can learn any skill you want to. You just have to have a willingness and some practice. And sometimes you might need a guide along the way. That's it.
Hey, I just want to quickly say that only 21.3% of the people that watch our videos are actually subscribed. So could you please subscribe?